Okay, ready? Hi guys, welcome to Tutor House. We're going to be doing a number of talks over the next couple of months about the education industry and tutoring specifically. My name's Alex, head of Tutor House. I have been in the BBC and ITV, but we'll talk about that later. I'm joined by Leo, super tutor, qualified teacher, and Potter, and Gareth, ex-headmaster, chemistry teacher, and also a super tutor. First question, what are the main benefits of tutoring? Over to Gareth.
I think that it's a little bit age dependent, but I think some subject support is key. Whether you're preparing for an entrance exam or whether you're doing GCSEs or A-levels, I think that lots of students need a little bit of support outside of the classroom, and tutoring in their home environment can benefit enormously.
Yeah, nice. A few hours a week, or a month, or a year, or a day, or what's regular tutoring?
I think it very much depends on the student, but I think there has to be something regular because they need a framework in order to work from, and it's good to have consistency and rapport. I'd probably start with 1 to 2, 3 hours a week, depending on their needs and what their expectations are from tutoring, and see how it goes and feedback as to whether or not they're looking to increase it or keep it the same.
Yeah, nice. What are the reasons people get tutors? Is there like a reason you guys have come across?
I think some families go to a tutor quite early on in the process because they know that they're going to need that extra support kind of early on. And you can work with them for a year, 2 years, or maybe 4 or 5 years from age 11 perhaps all the way to 16 or 18. I think some families go to tutors quite late on when they realise that they need a quick fix, something needs sorting quite quickly. And it can be quite that can be quite a last minute thing, whether it's for a few months perhaps, before a big exam maybe.
And I think as well, if depending on what your need is, if you're an EAL student, you know straight away that something like the Common Entrance is going to require additional support to get the colloquialisms of the English language, the format of the exams. You might be struggling a little bit more at school anyway, so that kind of support is going to be key, and I think people do get in quite early on that. But I also think that there is a sort of academic inflation going on with the top level of achievers, and the demand to get into schools is much more challenging now. Unis, and I think that parents often bring it in as a sort of fallback, even though they've got a child who is well able to get themselves to that level. It's more for a peace of mind, and also to have a little bit more feedback from someone who's an objective person rather than a teacher who sees everyone. So it's a bit more individual focus. I think parents like to have that as well.
More bespoke.
What about like compulsory exams? This is a big thing we've seen this year, is that GCSE English, maths compulsory now. You've got to do it, whoever you are, whatever you want to do, wherever you want to go. That's a big thing that we had this year. Loads of people calling about that. What do you guys reckon about compulsory exams? Like you have to keep doing them like over and over and over again.
I think that there's a benefit in it in core subjects. I think in order to fit into society later on, there are a certain amount of skills that you need, and part of that is the knowledge that comes with it, but part of it is also the discipline of making sure that you turn up, because things like that transfer to the work environment. That could be making sure that you follow up on emails. It could be having the diligence to check things out before you actually execute them. It's that whole of that work mentality which is involved within the school is essential for work later on in terms of embedding yourself into that. So I personally, I'm in favour of it.
Okay. All right.
And I think the life skills as well. Maths and English. You're not just learning them in order to sit a GCSE exam and get a C grade or better or something. You're going to use these things forever. In your personal life and your work life. So I think they're important for sure.
From a tutoring perspective, how many hours do you think is sort of a good sort of time I guess, for people to improve over the course of like, so they're having tutored for the academic year.
Yeah.
Like, would they have an hour a week, 2 hours a week? Like, what do you think is most beneficial? What have you guys seen? I don't know, maybe someone you've worked with over the course of a year or 6 months.
I mean, typically, I would see my tutees typically once a week during term time. Normally an hour, could be an hour and a half, but it has been sometimes 2 hours at a time.
Yeah.
Half terms and holidays, I see them more regularly, so I may see them 2 or 3 times in a week. Because they'll have big tests coming up, formal exams, public exams. So that's usual for me.
Okay.
Leo, what about you?
I have to say, recently my approach to it has shifted. It used to start off as an hour or so a week, and then a lot of the time it would increase quite a bit towards the exam. I've now tried to actually reverse that, and I prefer to go in slightly heavier at the beginning and have it slightly less towards the exam, because I think for me my focus for tutoring has actually shifted to much more of a skills-based approach, and trying to teach someone a skill requires a lot of effort, especially if it's new to them. It could be that sort of discipline for learning and trying to be independent in your thinking requires a lot of thought, and some people need a lot more time to set up structure and a format for them that they can learn in and understand how it is that they need to approach the material. So for me, I've now tried to do it more as a sort of, as it goes on, it becomes more like a seminar approach where, and it's obviously age dependent as well. This works better for a GCSE and A-level students who can be more independent with their learning, so that by the time it comes to their exams, they're actually producing the majority of the work, and they're just sort of checking in with you. It may well cost a little bit more to do that, but actually you're setting that person up for way beyond this exam. You're setting them up for...
Well, then you haven't got to retake it next year. Do you know what I mean, though? No, I'm not saying... You're on my side. What I mean is, if you leave it last minute and throw a sort of money at it for 10 sessions, you're not, it's really unlikely you're going to do well. So you've got to go back to the drawing board and start again and retake the exam, especially GCSEs and A-levels.
The improvement made on that is going to be minimal. It's too late in on the day, I agree.
I agree obviously with the life skills, and it's not just about academic sort of stuff, but I think the biggest thing is like a confidence thing. I mean, like if that starts really early and kids are doing super well, for, I don't know, 3-4 months, that you're actually helping them prior to the exam, but obviously 6 months and more, that's what it's about, transfer of sort of confidence. So that I can do it, you can do it. It's that sort of thing. Like if I can do it, anyone can do it.
And unfortunately now, depending on the schools that students go to and the teachers teach in, that sort of individual support and confidence building, lots of teachers can't give that to 30 students in a class every week.
Kids can't go on to do like A-levels because they've failed the GCSEs, or they can't go on to uni because they've got to retake, or whatever it is, but it's that class size thing which is a big sort of issue.
Absolutely.
And I think when, like you say, for that holistic side of the tutoring that can come in, is that as well as giving them confidence for the facts that they may have misheard or they didn't get the time in lessons to really understand, you're also allowing them to become trained in how to actually handle a situation like that. Much more sort of those people skills and that learning skill. If you're not getting this at school because you are in a large class and the teacher is overworked, then this is your responsibility to make sure that you get this kind of feedback, or you go to class ready with these kinds of questions if you only get a certain amount of time in. And that's also how tutoring can help, because it can make you better prepared for a situation like that, which is often inevitable in a lot of schools.
I think that's definitely right. Okay guys, thanks for joining us. If you want to subscribe to our channel, that would be lovely. If you've got anything that you want to talk about, no, that's not true. If you want us to talk about and you'd like to write in and ask us, that's great. We will do that for you. Thank you very much to Leo. Thank you very much to Gareth.
Thanks, Alex.
And we'll see you next time.